We are
I
live.
gone through your write-up also. That is very nice,
Yes, sir. Thank you,
and
sir.
we will be utilizing that in our
Definitely.
lesson.
We'll collaborate, sir. Definitely,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
We are,
Welcome to your write-up also. That is very nice,
Yes, sir.
and
Thank you, sir.
we will be utilizing that in our
Definitely.
lesson.
We'll collaborate, sir. Definitely,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
we are live now, Doctor.
Everyone, write-up.
Yes. Welcome everyone. Greetings from YOSI Medicolegal team. So we have been arranging webinars on various important topics in medicolegal aspects related to ophthalmology, and we have already done 29 sessions. Today is our 30th session with Dr. Prasanna Ramesh, who will be talking on artificial intelligence and its medicolegal aspects. So we have been privileged to have the masters in medical legal aspects, Dr. Anand Deshpande sir, who has been with us for a long time since the beginning. Sir is the director and eye surgeon at Guru Prasad Netra Rugnalaya at Aurangabad. Sir is the chairman of Indian Medical Legal Consulting Services Private Limited, and sir has helped many ophthalmologists all around India in their medical legal problems. Sir is the chairman of Medical Legal Committee of All India Ophthalmology Society. Sir is a faculty member of law and a visiting professor at Symbiosis Law College, Pune, National Law University, Aurangabad, Faculty of Management Sciences, BMU, Aurangabad. Sir has written multiple books, including legal aspects of ophthalmology, and he has played a pivotal role in formulating the consent book by All India Ophthalmology Society. We have Dr. Manoj Chandra Mathur sir, who has also been our mentor since the beginning. Sir is a senior consultant glaucoma and comprehensive ophthalmology at Swaroop Eye Center, Hyderabad. Sir is presently the honorary treasurer of AIOS. Sir is the past advisor and president of Telangana Ophthalmology Society and Hyderabad Ophthalmology Association. Sir is the co-chair of Health Insurance and TPA Committee of AIOS. Sir has been a member of Medical Legal and Ethics Committee of AIOS in the past. Sir has twice been a member of Managing Committee of AIOS. Sir has also served as a member of Advisory Board of IGO. Welcome, sir. We are proud to have our mentor, Dr. Prakash Marathe, sir, who has joined us from USA, though it is very early morning there. Thank you, sir. So, sir is a past president of Indian Medical Association, Pune, Maharashtra Ophthalmology Society, and Pune Ophthalmology Society. Sir is past senior vice president of IMA Maharashtra State. Sir is a trustee of IMA Pune and Pune Ophthalmology Society. Sir is a member of Medical Legal Committee and past managing committee member of AIOS. Sir has received multiple awards, and Sir is the chairman of Maharashtra chapter of MSICS. And Sir has conducted multiple instruction courses, delivered talks on medical legal aspects, practice management, and manual small incision cataract surgery in various forums. Our speaker is a dear friend of ours and our joint secretary, Dr. Prasanna Ramesh, who is truly a versatile person. Dr. Prasanna is the research director and glaucoma head of Mahatma Eye Hospital Private Limited, Tiruchirappalli. Dr. Prasanna is also a DNB examiner and DNB coordinator. He has published multiple academic works, including books, and he has a high index score. He is also a editorial board member in IGO. He is associate editor and editorial board member of Tamil Nadu Ophthalmic Association Journal. As I said, he is our joint secretary, very dynamic joint secretary, and he is a member of the management committee of Tamil Nadu Ophthalmic Association. He has conducted various instruction courses at national and international fora. His list of awards are unending. He has received awards at almost all forums we know of, including national and international forum. And he is the third winner of ASCRS Winning Pitch Challenge 2025. He has delivered one oration and performed 5 live surgeries. His research areas include glaucoma surgery, MIGS, moving images, 4D diagnostics, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, and academic filmmaking. Thanks, Dr. Prasanna, for accepting our invitation. and it is a privilege to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaushik. So I'll start sharing my screen.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you stop sharing, I think I'll be able to share, I think.
Is it still sharing?
Yeah. Your screen is still sharing.
Okay.
Fine. Okay. I'll just share now. Perfect. Is my screen visible, Dr. Kaushik?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Kaushik, for the very kind introduction on today's artificial intelligence and its medical legal aspects. So before I start, I would like to thank Anand Deshpande, sir. Thank you, sir. It was a wonderful opportunity to be with you in IC in Nepal, and I really cherish that memory. And thank you for making me part of today's wonderful MLC initiative. And along with my dear friends, Kaushik, Aarti, and Dipanshu, it's been a great journey in YOSI along with those three. We'll be covering on these 4 or 5 aspects in the next few minutes. One is the role and impact of AI in Indian healthcare. Another one is the legal and ethical framework. What are the potential risks? What are the liability and what are the medical legal challenges and best practices for a safe and responsible AI adaptation? So these are the 4 facets in which I have divided today's presentation. The first part will be the introduction, which is transforming healthcare, particularly in ophthalmology. So AI basically in ophthalmology, why ophthalmology is because it's an image-based field, and AI really works well in an image-based field. So it enhances diagnosis, treatment, decision making, and however, when we start off with AI, the legal and ethical considerations needs to be addressed. That's why we all are here and we are discussing that today. So AI is an algorithm. So for our attendees here, AI is basically it's an algorithm which helps in detecting or diagnosing an eye disease. For example, AI can detect a papilledema on a fundus photograph. And there is another concept called machine learning, which is slightly different from AI, which is more like a subset of artificial intelligence, which improves accuracy by proper validation. So any AI should undergo a validation process for it to be how much is the sensitivity, how much is the specificity. That is something that we need to know. And what are the limitations? And is the AI functioning by itself? Is it a generative AI which is functioning by itself, or is it a AI human hybrid model? Which is, for example, a diabetic retinopathy screening, where AI and human intelligence goes hand in hand. So we have published papers on human intelligence with AI, which can assist in image analysis, diagnosis, and it also helps in reducing the workload. So what are the medical device formulations such as regulatory definitions? Okay, let's see the International Medical Device Regulators Forum, IMDRF, which defines a software or an algorithm that we are talking today as a SAMD. It is nothing but software as a medical device, SAMD. So all these AI or augmented reality, which is something that is again my area of expertise, it all comes under SAMD. And the AI or the subset called the machine learning based SAMD aims at what? It aims to enhance, of course, the healthcare and the quality and safety, which we all know. So this is the important form that we need to know of, called the IMDRF, which we just covered, called the International Medical Device Regulators Forum, where any algorithm has to make sure it has to undergo this particular validative process, which will come as SAMD. And you can see that the authoring group will be the IMDRF SAMD working group. And the forum will be the International Medical Device Regulators Forum. So what is this SAMD? What are the features will come under this and what will not come under this? So let's see the three charts here. I hope you are able to see my cursor. So any in vitro diagnostic medical device that will come under SAMD, standalone software or even a interface with the hardware to enhance medical purpose, like the one you can see on top, that will come under SAMD. And general computing platforms like a mobile app, like a computer, like a web-based application software for medicine, that will also come under SAMD. What will not come under SAMD is a core software to drive, not a core software. It's not a software, but it is helping you to drive a medical device. That will not come under SAMD. So, but majoritively, most of the things will come under SAMD, except the core software which is used to drive a medical device. It's more of computer programming will come, hardwares will come, and in vitro medical diagnostic devices will come. That's very important to know. And then comes the FDA role in regulation. So once it's an SAMD device or the software is going to come under that, uh, is it FDA approved, at least in the US territory? The Food and Drug Administration acknowledges AI as a medical device. A digital health division was also launched in 2019 to regulate this under the FDA category. And the Drug and Cosmetics Act of 1940 in India, coming to India from US, this act regulates the import, manufacture, distribution, and the sale of drugs and medical devices. And these AI comes under medical devices because they are used for medicine. And if the AI systems are used for diagnosing or providing medical recommendation or treatment planning, as you can see, they may fall under medical device regulation. So that's how in India it comes under the Act, Drug and Cosmetics Act 1940, which is very important to note. And the Medical Device Rule, MDR 2017, where AI-powered diagnostic devices are regulated as medical devices. So what is the chain that we need to keep in mind? Approval process must be registered with the CDSCO, which is the Central Drugs Standard Control Organization, and certification required before marketing and use in healthcare settings. So that is something again we need to keep in mind. So MDR also regulates it. Consent and ethical consideration. So consent, an informed consent should be made because we are dealing with images like fundus or OCT. So whatever the AI that we are dealing with, we need to make sure the patient has been informed priorly that their data is going to be used for whatever purpose that we are going to use. And to assert the rights either directly or indirectly to ethical standards of confidentiality. That is again, the ethical standard of confidentiality is something again very, very important. The informed consent should cover again that we are particularly going to use AI for your image, especially in diagnostics or treatment decision making, should be made to whomsoever the data has been taken. That is again very important. It should not only cover that we are going to use your device only for research purpose, but it should be made in detail that it is going to be used for AI tools. And the principle of human in the loop is essential. Again, stating that when you go into the medical legal aspects, that human in the loop is another AI modality where the final decision must lie with the doctor, because in the court of law, that is very important. We cannot say that the machine made a blunder. The doctor who validated it and signed it is the one who will be taking the responsibility. And trust and informed consent, to add on a few, patient's point of view, this is very important to note. Sometimes patient distrust AI-driven diagnosis. So that should be kept in mind. when we are entering into this frame of AI, patients sometimes, trust. Surveys reveal that they trust doctors more than an AI. Personally, I would like to use a metaphor here. Every one of us would be comfortable in getting into a aircraft which has a manned pilot. And of course, we know that autopilot will be used in cruise mode, but we always believe human intelligence along with AI much better. So AI should augment, not replace clinical decisions. And educating the patients and obtaining informed consent is very crucial in detail. The ethical considerations facets are trust and accountability, keeping empathy and human touch, and also taking into consideration medical errors and liability. The Indian Council of Medical Research has clearly laid down the ethical guidelines for application of AI in biomedical research and healthcare in 2023 to provide clarity on liability, transparency, accountability, and oversight. And it cautions us about the ethical, legal, and social concerns in the light of complexity of algorithmic learning. So the ICMR in literature throws a very beautiful graph on algorithmic learning, because AI again is an algorithm. So these are the 6 circles that we need to keep in mind when it comes into ethics and AI. What are the rules and regulations? What are the values? What is that in research? Moral principles, ethical practices, and rules of conduct. Let's see some more of that in detail. In training, what do we keep in mind? So first, a doctor or an optometrist should learn to interpret and validate AI outputs, especially in complex cases. So the learning part is very important, and we should understand that what is the protocol that we are trying to create the algorithm, and what is the quality standard, as I told, what is the sensitivity and specificity that we are dealing with. And the admin and IT staff play a very important role, because they need to be trained in system integration, troubleshooting, and they also need to be aware about the legal and ethical compliance. It's not only the doctor, the IT staff, and the admin has to be kept in the loop. Institutes should offer continuous training, because the algorithm keeps on upgrading by means of in-house workshops, webinars, or simulations on these AI tools, as well as the regulations, because the regulations also keep changing. We should develop certification programs or competency benchmarks to ensure standardized AI proficiency. Again, that is a very important point here. And data privacy and blockchain, that is again another facet which comes very close contact with AI. Patient data privacy is a very primary concern. Risk of unauthorized data access and cyber attacks should be very, very stringent. The firewalls that we use should be very protective. And regulatory measures, as you can see, the General Data Protection Regulation and the HIPAA, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, and the National Data Protection Laws should be kept in mind, and they are very critical, especially when it comes to regulatory measures dealing with cyber security and data protection. Moving on to data privacy and security, again to add on, it is a very sensitive personal data that keep under the IT Act as well. And with the Digital Personal Data Protection Act of 2023, called the DPDP Act, the healthcare institutes must collect explicit consent from the patient. Again, we are coming back to the consent, the DP Act, that is the Digital Personal Data Protection, which is again pointing out to it, and the implementation of adequate safeguards when training. Since we are going into the digital cloud, etc., the firewall should be very watertight. We cannot we have to anticipate cyber attacks and all these kind of elements. We cannot say that our firewalls were not that good. We have to make sure that our firewall security is very good, and especially when patient data and all are concerned. And also keeping in mind the PDPB, the India Personal Data Protection Bill, also in mind. So we need to know all these details, all the small acts, or rather the literature what points out to AI is very important. We need to read all these elements before we dive into this. Also keeping a note on National Digital Health Mission guidelines. which also again points out to data protection. So all these acts or guidelines, as you can see, it all points to the data guidelines. And the National Digital Health Mission guideline states you have to create a health ID and a specific digital health record ID for a patient, and it can be linked to the medical records. And patients also can control access to their health data, ensuring records are shared only with authorized entities. So I wanted to bring in this point because of the concept called the blockchain, which helps you integrate a lot of data, big data. And when you talk about big data, blockchain also comes into the picture, and AI, all these are working hand in hand. And that is where the health ID plays a very important role. Legal responsibilities and liabilities, always keeping in mind, we have to clinically validate the training data sets. The validation is very important. Regulatory bodies require explainability of AI. So in AI, we have this black box phenomenon. Sometimes we don't know why the AI diagnoses the certain way it does, but we cannot give room for that. We need to have an explainable AI rather than an AI which is inexplainable, because there is a potential risk such as bias in data training, misdiagnosis, and lack of interpretability when you go into an explainable AI. In legal recommendations and liability laws, designers should be accountable for any damage caused by the machine. Again, very important point. Who designs the algorithm is accountable. One. Second, for systems that operate independently without human oversight, the deploying entity remains responsible. So who again comes into the picture? The human who is responsible for the system again, the designer and the one who deployed the system. And the machines granted personhood are subjected to tort liability laws. What is a tort liability again for my neophytes out here? It means being legally responsible for causing harm to somebody through a wrongful act or negligence. A very important point. A tort liability law is something you should keep your mind applicable when you start your AI journey. And it should be ensured for malpractice in same manner as physicians. So these are some very important laws that we need to know. So just like a doctor needs insurance in case of mistakes, an AI system with legal status should also be insured if it makes error, and nothing is fully sensitive and specificity. You may not have an 100% specific or sensitive AI. So we need to work out on this tort liability aspect as well. So what is the legal recommendations to address these liability? So typical organizational accountability. So the whole organization may be accountable, like the doctor, developer, institute, they all share the responsibility of the harm, if at all, if it happens because of the A, and covering malpractice, product faults, and operational liability. Responsibilities can also include third parties like manufacturers. Again, that's all the designer. Investors, sometimes the investors are also brought into the pictures. And I talked about ensuring your AI, right? When it comes into the market, after causing the FDA and the regulatory approval, insurers of the medical AI systems are also held responsible. No fault liability allows patients to get compensation without proving who was at fault, usually when AI error occurs. So again, to all my friends out there who's using AI for the diagnostics, there is something called no fault liability, which allows the patient to get compensation without providing who's at fault. That has to be kept in mind. Negligence and litigation task, medical negligence lawsuits, the physician blindly relies on incorrect AI outputs, as I told. When the AI predicts what it predicts, ultimately the physician should use his clinical acumen and then countersign the diagnosis. Product liability cases occur if harm is due to flawed software. Risk of criminal negligence if unapproved AI tools are used in invasive or high stake scenarios without regulatory approval. So all innovators out there who are innovating AI algorithms, you cannot use it without regulatory approval on patients. That will come under criminal negligence. And the Consumer Protection Act of 2019, which beautifully states that the medical services are covered under the Consumer Protection Act of 2019, and the patients are consumers and the healthcare are providers. So basically, what the role of IT Act 2000 says is It regulates the electronic communication and transaction, and also even covers telemedicine and AI-related legal aspects, and ensures cybersecurity and data protection. You can see the 5 key elements of the IT Act, which you need to keep in mind. One is the legal recognition for electronic records, facilitation of electronic governance and commerce, promotion of IT sector growth and innovation, cyber regulation and data protection, and strict privacy laws. Coming to restrictions, so we talked about the flow of algorithm, negligence, or the acts and the guidelines. Coming to what are the restrictions in India, in Indian perspective, which is very important to know what our country is having in. India's intellectual property does not recognize algorithmic patentability. So you can't patent an AI algorithm, and the Patent Act exempts algorithm from being considered patentable innovations or inventions, possibly discouraging AI development. What are the limitations keeping AI in mind? An algorithmic bias can happen anytime. Data privacy breaches and accountability in misdiagnostic cases. So the barriers are patient follow-up again, AI or no AI, again, that is a challenge in rural areas when you use for diagnosis. Regulatory restrictions and insurance reimbursement issues limit adaptation. So when you say you use an AI, insurance reimbursement issues and regulatory restrictions are there. Cost and implementation difficulties are also a part of the thing. And these are some of my personal experiences that I wanted to share as a concluding thing of this task, this talk. The reason why AI something is doing all the talk in ophthalmology is because AI is an image recognition thing, and AI happened how and when. So basically, when we started, using our mobile phone to open the mobile phone by using our face recognition, or when we started using our fingerprint to open up the mobile phone. So these all started as a lifestyle modification. So we had the first unmanned car. Tesla has also come out with that. You can see with the LiDAR technology, it knows when to stop. It knows how to go on its own. And even aircrafts are unmanned. And AI slowly actually entered our life without us really knowing how it started. And it's not a hype at all because it's happening. My personal reservations with AI is the black box dilemma, because the rationale behind the predictions of AI are not clearly understood. Why it predicts the way it predicts. So this was one of my studies where published in IJO in 2022, an original article, where we used a human inspiration, or like, can you see, if you can see the algorithm on the left is a neural framework of a human, a CNS and a PNS, central nervous system and a peripheral nervous system. So what we did is we used a similar algorithmic neural network and made the algorithm similar to a human inspiration, so that it has to grow a growth like a baby into an adult. So I started in 2017. So my algorithm is 8 years old. So it is learning as time grows. The more it learns, the more it is well equipped, and more it becomes explainable and breaks the black box dilemma. And we used real images for diabetic retinopathy, or fundus images, and we made sure 2 human intersections per there, making sure humans annotated the image, meaning teaching the AI how to walk like a baby walking or baby eating, and then again predicting. So if anything was wrong, humans were again validating it, and if it was incorrect, it again goes into the box. So that was algorithm what I made, and this is a video again showing how we taught the AI to identify the disk. So this is me actually drawing the disk margin and teaching the AI that this is the disk. You do it 100 times, it works good for you. The more you do, the more it works. The more images you take, again, you see this is a normal macula. We are annotating and teaching the AI what is normal. Again, in this, you can see I'm marking the superior arcade and the inferior arcade and teaching how the normal vascular bundle looks like. So these things are very small. Again, teaching what is a microaneurysm. And you can see in this, I'm just going to mark all the microaneurysms. In such a way, you can see, to name a few, again, you can see here, a simple dot blot hemorrhage is continuously marked. It may take even 15 minutes to mark all the dot blot hemorrhages, but the more human takes time to teach the AI, just like a baby. It learns well and it matures well. So this is again flame-shaped hemorrhages, or you name it. Just keep. So we had around 112 annotations for diabetic retinopathy alone, and we had again, this is a cotton wool spot, and we had 26 intrinsic annotations for glaucoma. You can see peripapillary atrophy, alpha, beta, gamma, RNFL defect, and finally you have a total annotation. And these are some of the AI languages, which I'm not going into the detail, which says how the machine is improving over time, called the mean average precision. So the more we teach the AI and we overcome the black box dilemma, you can see when a diagnosis, it not only says it's mild, moderate, severe diabetic retinopathy, it also gives you, there is an NPD, there is a proliferative new vessel here, there is a CSME here, or this is what the patient needs. So when you mark and teach more, you overcome the black box dilemma, and it also gives you the intrinsic parts of the system as well. This is a cotton wool spot, or this spot is near the macula. So the guidelines for CME or CSME all are actually met or not met. So we need to now move forward towards explainable AI, and that is what, as you can see, sensitivity we were not able to hit 100, but specificity we were able to hit 100 by using true confocal color images. And this is one of an upcoming project which has not been done yet in the field of glaucoma, where we are trying to use human intelligence in anterior and other upcoming imaging modalities, where you can see that first the scleral spur is detected in yellow, and then 500 microns in front, we plot the trabecular meshwork and a perpendicular is drawn, and a protractor is being made for a multimodal angle A. So tomorrow, when we do an imaging, be it UBM, sheen plug imaging, Antirion or ASOCT, whatever the machine that you use, and making sure each algorithm is like a multilingual one, where each machine speaks with each other. So we can make sure that the sensitivity and specificity is improved. You can see this protractor will give us an idea that whether it's an open angle or a closed angle. This is what we are trying to teach the machine or create the algorithm. The more we teach, the more it is going to process and come out well. So as I told you, this is an annotation in a UBM, Antirion, ASOCT, sheen plug imaging, and this is my own data set, where currently we're working on 1,500 images on Antirion, and the results, as you can see here, to summarize, the more you train, the green line that you can see as training 3 is coming down and down. That means that the AI is actually moving in the right track. The errors are reducing. And here in this graph, if you see the sensitivity and specificity, 82, 88, and 95. And again, if you see the specificity, 92, 94, and 95. Again, that also is slowly improving in this angle AI project that I'm speaking about. So finally, how in ophthalmology we are looking at these things are, to summarize again with this last few slides. So in this image, if you see an angle A, for example, where this is what the A is going to mark. In Antirion, we don't have an angle protractor yet. So for example, if you see, my dear friends, in the test 1 that we are showing, I would have trained only 100 or 200 images. So the correct angle is 24.76, or rather, sorry. Yeah, and the machine is reading it as 27. There is a difference of 27.9, three differences, 3 degrees. In the test 2, you can see with more images training, the 24.76 is now read as 22. The difference is narrowing as 2. And in the third, you can see it is closing down. The 24 is now read as 23. So finally, how we are envisioning AI diagnostics is, so this is an application which I have made again, where in countries like India, where rural or semi-urban areas, we'll be just imaging smartphone, and you'll be just taking this image and dropping it into an app or an offline app, as you can see here. I'm just taking an image and I'm just dropping it inside. And within 60 seconds, it's going to give you what it is, whether it's an open angle or a closed angle, or whether if it's a fundus image, whether it's a glaucoma diagnosis, it's a mild, moderate, or severe. You can see I have not unedited video of mine, where you can see that once you drop the image, it will give you where is the scleral spur, where is the trabecular meshwork, and it will give you exactly what it is. So that's where we are moving towards. So that's why we need to be more careful. And the future again is bimodal AI. So that is something which is slowly coming in, where we are going to have a digital marker as you can see below, and you're going to have a visual marker as you see above. And again, just to summarize, these are some of my work that I wanted to share on OCT as well. And all are going to come in smartphones. So the growth of the model, as we talked about, from a baby, it has to grow. So if I start an algorithm 8 years back, it has to undergo growth like a baby, and that really matters because the sensitivity and specificity of it matters at the end of the day in diagnosis. So how we are placed is it's going to help you in diagnosis and intricate findings. The fundus AI for glaucoma, like angle A is going to help you differentiate the type of glaucoma, help you in quantifying angle procedures like YAG-PI. OCT is going to grade severity. So we are going to have a scenario where we are going to incorporate all the AA modules. We are going to mix everything. And finally, diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, everybody is having their own algorithms, which all will come together. And that's going to be the future. And me being a glaucoma person, most of my life work has gone into glaucoma and some into diabetic retinopathy, where our institute is having a good retina department as well. So is it doctor versus AI? I don't think so. Why? Because when we all started, it was always thought as a science fiction, especially 10 years back, 15 years back. We thought it was all science fiction. It's not going to come. So that's why I showed you the videos of the phone, the laptop. Actually, if you see, every one of us are using AI. The biometry that we use in our day-to-day practice, sometimes the car that we unlock with our remote, AI is just up and there. And this is again one of an holographic models that was made by me in the year 2022. The first holographic human eyeball model with real images. So it's not science fiction anymore. These kind of things, once which was thought to be a science-based science fiction, is now moving into science-based reality. A doctor with an AI will always be much superior than a doctor without AI. And in the future, you're going to see EMR-based systems like this, where the eye, the neuro-ophthalmology being three-dimensional organs, is imaged but interpreted in 2D. So it's only a matter of time they're going to be interpreted in 3D as well, like a hologram or whatever it is, or even surgical simulations like a posterior polar cataract simulation module that we are currently working on, where you practice surgical based simulators, which is also coming under AI, surgical simulations for teaching and training, where you do rexes, you do a hydro dissection versus a hydro delineation in this scenario, where this is one of the tougher scenarios for a neophyte, especially managing posterior polar cataract. So in ophthalmology, it is not only imaging, it's slowly coming into the surgical based specialties as well. LASIK, SMILE, these surgeries have their own AI-based algorithms, which are purely driven by AI. And we just need to be sure that we are up with AI. A doctor with an AI will definitely be much equipped than a doctor without an AI. I'm just forwarding this for want of time, but this is again is currently there, and it's there in our center as well, where we are working very hard on simulative based learning, where again all these in a simple smartphone, all are going to come in very offline applications. So these are the practical uses that we are currently looking at, and it is no more science fiction. It's all science-based reality. And we just need to now make sure what are the medical legal aspects that we need to deal with. And we need to make sure we are going to be moving in a more progressive way forward. And many different applications are there, surgical simulations or dissection, where you just use your simple fingers to dissect, analyze, or even a simple direct ophthalmoscopy training that you use. So all these are not science fiction anymore. It's all science-based reality, and it is there for you to explore and see in your smartphone. So to summarize this whole talk, we have, as doctors, we have the pseudo scare, but it is never that. We are going to work together. And to work together with AI or AR or whatever technology that is going to come in healthcare, including teleophthalmology, all these have brought us where? Significant advancements. So all these point us to only one thing, that we are going to advance, and we Indians are also much ahead in AI as well as AR, MR, mixed reality. All these are algorithms. But we need to be ethically regulated. We need to be legally regulated. That is a very important point we need to keep in mind. And if you are moving from teaching, counseling to clinical diagnostics, the clinician should be informed and involved in AI adaptation. All the points that we covered today, the clinician should know inside out about the rules, the guidelines, because those are not really taught in med school, maybe when they would have graduated. So it is very important for him or her to know about it. And keeping in mind the third, which is the most important point, patient trust and safety remains the highest priority. And the future of AI in healthcare depends on balanced integration, combining technology with human judgment. The human judgment is never ever going to be replaced. So that is always going to be there, and that is never ever going to be replaced. So it is just going to be doctor with AI, who's just going to be slightly on the upper hand with the doctor without an AI. So it's just a time that we have to learn, but making sure that we learn in a very right way. So thank you once again to the whole MLC team and to all the attendees on YouTube as well as Zoom. You can catch me on Insta or WhatsApp or mail for any queries. I would be happy to answer any question. And last but not the least, I would like to thank again Anand Deshpande sir and the whole MLC team once again for giving me this fantastic opportunity. After doing the IC together at APAO, I'm grateful to Anand sir and my dear friends Arti, Dipanshu and Kaushik for giving me this opportunity once again. Thank you.
Thank you, Prasanna. I think you have like entirely you have covered the entire topic. I also would not know that there is so much in AI to cover. Now, I would like to invite our senior panelist, Dr. Anand Deshpande sir, to give his comments on the talk as well as on the topic. So, over to you, sir.
Yeah. AI as such, though it is a very good assistant to the doctor, it is not a doctor. Legally, when you are giving the opinion, that is the opinion of the doctor and not the opinion of the AI. So there is in a new criminal law that is has come now, importance to the consent has given a very important importance, and they have even mentioned that the RMP in previous nowhere criminal law RMP was mentioned, that he doctor is not mentioned, and what is particular for doctor is never mentioned. But in new this it is clearly mentioned that RMP when does anything with the proper consent, it is not his fault or he is not even for liable for that. And that provision is very good provision which is made in the law. And in this AI, when you are subjecting the patient to the AI, you should have a good consent, proper information to the patient, and then if you go and give the opinion from the AI assisted opinion, there it is said in artificial intelligence, doctors, that is a clinical knowledge, doctors knowledge and data analysis are the two fields where the AI is not working well, or it is has no upper hand. So these people at two places, AI brain, man's brain is more important. So here our opinion is important, assisted by the AI. So no question of the medico legal will come.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything more
Thank you.
clarification?
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Dr. Manoj Mathur sir for his comments on the talk.
At
And
the
also,
outset, sorry for joining late. I had a series of AIOS meetings. I joined 15 minutes into Prasanna's presentation. But a very well composed exposition, Prasanna. You dealt the AI like uh, a simple left-hand job for you. You have been doing such great work in this field. The thing that I gathered at the end of the day, whether it is teleophthalmology, whether it is AI, a machine is a machine. The machine learns what you feed, as Prasanna emphasized. Like you need to train the machine like a baby. You have to take so many annotations. Each particular, suppose a spot, an exudate, you are marking different exudate, say 100,000 exudates. If you mark, the machine picks up. The only difference between a human brain and an AI is probably I may be learning 100 things, I may be forgetting 90 things, but AI will remember the entire 100 things. So that is the advantage that the machine has. The machine will extrapolate the finding of every image, and it will give an impression, but it is ultimately the clinician who has to take a call whether the machine that is suggesting a diagnosis is true or not. Because as pointed out, the CPA 2019, the criminal negligence is on the doctor. You cannot say that the AI did this. You cannot treat a patient of glaucoma on OCT. You cannot treat a patient of glaucoma on a simple HVF. See, you need to correlate OCT, HVF, fundus, and then you need to have your own clinical judgment before you label a patient with a particular disease and start the treatment. So ultimate, the negligence is on the doctor. So what I understood as of now, apart from your personal indemnity, we talked also about your center's indemnity as a hospital indemnity, and now the tort indemnity comes into the picture. So even your AI machine probably needs to be insured or probably needs to be indemnified if you are using. But as Dr. Deshpande said, the consent of the patient, like you have to explain to the patient, specifically since Prasanna is working in the field of glaucoma, what you have derived the information, you have subjected the patient. Like a basic investigation nowadays has four components: a disc photograph, a OCT, a visual field, and then a structural and functional correlation of all these things, gonioscopy findings, everything you need to explain to the patient and come to a proper diagnosis. And in this endeavor, the AI certainly stands to help you a lot in trying to convince the patient about the diagnosis, and it makes that much easier for the clinician to explain to the patient and the patient to give a better compliance of your prescribed treatment. So it is definitely going to reduce the litigation, but the ultimate responsibility shall be of the clinician. A very well summarized, very well composed exposition, Prasanna. I really appreciate your presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for those comments. So I would ask Kaushik, sir, if he has any questions or comments for Prasanna.
Prasanna, though it is not medical legal, so like what are the implications of AI as an author? Like as an author of some publications or any other things, any other like creative things.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm just missing the question. Can you just rephrase it, Kaushik?
So what are the like concerns, ethical and legal concerns of marking AI as an author of a publication or
Uh,
some generative
yeah,
work?
I understand. So the chat GPT era. So this has been the discussion last 2 years, 2.5 or 3 years. So I always feel the human is the ultimate hierarchical position where humans will be slightly on top of AI. So if people are going to use AI for publication, since we are dealing on AI as well in ophthalmology, that is something I regard as an ethical boundary. Maybe you should not try to venture into that, because ultimately your knowledge should be coming from your human intelligence, and then it should come into paper. But if you're going to use a chat GPT or other algorithms to write a paper or even prepare a PPT, your knowledge will be limited. And when you are asked to speak on that, or you are asked to present something on that, do a project on it, it's going to be very evident that you don't have much knowledge on it. So there is no point in using a AI to do that work. And it's very obvious now. We have plagiarism softwares for AI also, chat GPT plagiarism software. So the software itself gives you that these paragraphs are chat GPT generated, or these paragraphs are AI generated. So uh, one of my colleagues used to keep telling me, a good writer will always have errors. So you can actually spot errors, and manual errors is something is a good sign when you send a write-up, because that is where the human touch will always be there. And when it comes to, again, publications, I'm telling, but we all are trying to work towards minimal error as possible when it comes to clinical and surgical human touch. Yeah.
So Prasanna, as a thing, can you just say as a financial disclosure statement, can you say that this paper is assisted by ChatGPT or something like that? Can that be a disclaimer like that?
I think it's
It
better
will
for,
not be authentic.
sir, I think it's better that people don't use that, sir.
Use that.
In the future, it's only for their benefit, sir, because they use a chat GPT and publish a paper or something. And when they are invited to talk on that publication that they have done, it's right for people to see that their knowledge is quite shallow when it comes to speaking about it. So it's what is that they want to do with it is a question. But if it is regulated and if it's proven ethical, I would, maybe we can have a column like that
Say
saying,
for language refinement or scientific
yes,
writing, but
yes,
not the data
not the
interpretation.
data itself. Yeah, that's a
Yes.
nice way to put it up, sir. Maybe the grammarly checking can be there, but the grammar checking rather than the content derivation.
Content has to be original, data has to be original.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well put.
That's why I said in the beginning that data analysis and data conversion, that is transformation. These two things are, though it is done by the AI, ChatGPT and all that, but still the super hand is the brain of the man, because brain of the man can generate the things, new things, whereas AI only can produce whatever is fed or is available in the other data. So unless data is available to them, they cannot do anything, any new generation of the ideas. So ideas are created by our brain. So the surgical, that is a medical field, and data analysis and transformation is the two fields are not are superior by of the human brain rather than the AI. So AI has somewhere feeding, and it has to be based on that feeding somewhere, something, some data, maybe in any form. So that is transformation of the data.
So to add on, sir, that was one of the questions we had in mind in the year 2017 when we started the neural framework. I did more of convolutional neural network, where the neural framework of the AI algorithm mimicked the human nervous system. And then this is again the thing that I covered in my talk as well. So we all know there is autopilot, but are we ready to go in a flight where there is no pilot? I don't know. At least at this point in time, we always believe the humans more because at least we feel they should be there to take care if there is a electric snag or something else. So always human intelligence with artificial intelligence will always be the way forward. It's just that now we have to equip our colleagues in med school, the juniors and junior residents and the undergraduates about the curriculum of AI because it's coming. It came without us knowing. It slowly entered our day-to-day life.
That's why the international laws and so many people are governing that the AI should not be given the emotions.
Mm.
If once the emotions are given to the AI and research is made and some availability of the emotions are given to the AI, then it will be very, very dangerous to the human beings, because then they will think of their own, will generate their own ideas, and that ideas may not be suitable for the human beings.
Very true, sir.
So there is a law of big restriction on that worldwide.
Kaushik sir, do we have any more questions?
I
I
don't
think
know.
we have discussed this topic, I think, at very good length. If we don't have any more questions or comments, can we proceed towards end of the session? Anand sir, Manoj sir, do you have any more comments?
No, I don't have anything to
Ah,
add.
all right.
Very good
Yeah.
presentation, just to summarize.
Yes.
Very nice presentation, really very nice presentation, I will say.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. Thank you.
So, on behalf of YOSI and YOSI Medicolegal team, I would like to thank our senior panelists for the day, who have been the constant guiding force for us in conducting all these sessions. Dr. Anand Deshpande sir, Dr. Prakash Marathe sir, and Manoj Mathur sir. Also, I would like to thank a very young dynamic speaker, a very dear friend of ours, Dr. Prasanna V. Ramesh, who has not a, who has, I think, covered the topic very extensively and almost every aspect of the artificial intelligence that should be covered in a topic like this. Also, I would like to thank the audience who have attended the session today and joined us in, be it on Zoom platform or the YouTube. And also, I would like to thank my team, medical legal team, and my co-moderators, Dr. Kaushik Tripathi and Dr. Aarti Heda, and the Numerotech team for taking care of the audiovisual aspect. So we have come to the end of the session for today's interesting session. Hoping to see you guys all for the next session in month of June. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.